It's recording.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
Yes, I'm going to start my camera.
Is this live?
I don't know.
It says live. That's why I was.
Oh, maybe I switched it because the record. Either way, it's fine. Because the record wasn't working. Hello. So today I am here with T.W. Dawson, and it's T.W. Speaks today. I have a couple questions that I want to ask him. He has some exciting things coming up, so I just wanted to bring it to you guys so you all will see some of the amazing things that he has coming up. So, how are you?
Awesome.
Good. So I have some questions. I know that you and I have talked, and you are coming out with a new course. We talked about the course, but I would like to know exactly what the course is going to entail. Who is it focused on? And then we'll get into why you decided to create it after that. So who is it focused on, and what does it entail?
Okay. The course is called Survival Strategies for Separation.
Okay.
The course is basically set up for men who are dealing with, to some degree, unwanted separation or divorce.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it's for. I realize that most men don't have those support systems that women do. Most guys have to just walk it off.
Yeah.
Most guys gotta suck it up,
Mm-hmm.
put an ace bandage on it, keep it moving.
Mm-hmm.
They have a lot of other responsibilities, so they don't have time to actually to dissolve themselves in their emotions and how they feel.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times that kind of acts out in different ways in society, based on men being hurt and having to hold it in. So that's what the course is for. I can give more detail as we go on about what the actual outcome of the course is and what it entails.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so it's for men going through an unwanted separation. What made you? So you kind of answered it, but I wanted just a little bit more in depth. Like, what made you? What prompted you inside to come up with the idea? I know you said that men don't have the support system that women have, or they just kind of walk it off. But like, there had to have been something
That's easy. And it's really not even that. What it is that I think that I've been gifted with the ability to teach and articulate, as I may have mentioned at one point or another. And it just became a point where I realized as a man that I had to, I heard somebody say, penetrate the world with my gifts. And I believe that anything we go through in life is for a lesson. A lot of times it's not for us. One of my favorite quotes is by Albert Einstein. He said that somebody asked him what was the purpose of life. And this is the one few times he said he didn't know. He said, but what I do know is not for ourselves. It's for somebody else.
That's right.
And that resonated with me as a young man. And I realized that anything and everything I go through in life is for a purpose. And it's for somebody else in most cases. Yeah. Maybe not for me. Maybe I'm getting this lesson so I can teach somebody else. And so in developing this course, I wanted to give my gifts to the world. And I said, what will be the most beneficial way and what will be the demographic of people that would need to hear what I have to say the most? And I did an exercise, and I'm a public speaker, so there's things that we do as far as ideal development. And the gentleman that I was listening to, he said that if you had the opportunity, he said there's 6 billion people in the world. If you had the opportunity to stand on a mountaintop and give one message to all 6 million people, what would that message be? And it had me in deep thought and said, okay, how can I make the biggest difference to people in general with one message? And I contemplated, I thought about it, I wrote stuff down. I know that my strong points are relationships. My strong points are health and fitness. My strong points are finances. These are my strong points. I said, but how can I narrow down something that will be a message that will affect the person that's hurting the most? Then I had to look deep within myself and say, what was the time in my life that I had the most pain and anguish? What was the most time that I had needed the most support and didn't have direction? What was the most time that I see my brother struggle the most? And obviously it will be relationships. But then not only just relationships, but as a young man, this whole thing trying to figure out women has been a task that we all have to tackle from day one, you know, and we have to go through different stages of it. And I just had deep contemplation, thought about what would be the biggest impact that I can make on society in teaching then specifically men and how to get through the emotional process of a separation. I thought that would be the biggest thing that I can do to help, because I have a lot of insight on it. I myself, we went through a separation. My Fab Five, they've all been through a separation or a divorce. One of my bigger brothers went through 2 divorces. A friend of mine's in New York, he went through a terrible separation and divorce. My best brother, he went through a divorce. My young brothers, so it's like, this is something, and then I believe that it's not going to get any better. I believe that the way society is going, this new wave, this new generation, these new ideas that people have out here, I think they're testing them out. I don't think they're substantiated. There's nothing out here that's substantiated. There's nothing that's set in stone. So a lot of times what they're doing is they're testing these ideas out, not knowing whether they're going to work or not. So we're going to have a lot of collateral damage from these ideas. And I don't think, my personal opinion, that men are going to be on the winning side of this. I think the movement that's going is going towards masculinity and men being men. I think men have to apologize for being men. I think men have one emotion that they express, and that's anger. And when they try to fall in themselves and express other emotions, they're looked at a certain way. And there's no outlets for men to be men, but to be vulnerable, but yet be men. And that's where I wanted to create. I wanted to create something where I can put a man in a situation and say, okay, this is your reality now. And I'm not teaching a guy. This course is not for the guy that's trying to get her back. That's a whole nother course. Totally separate. This is for the guy that has to get to the point where his reality has set in, and this is what it is. She doesn't want you anymore. She's moved on. I know. She doesn't want you anymore. She's moved on. It hurts. And you've got to the point where you have to move on and go to the next part of your life. How do you do that? How do you make this situation, not even make it, just how do you come to grips with what's at hand? And say, okay, this is what it is. This is what I have to do.
Like, it's sad to say, but if the guy is not trying to get her back, he's usually left in the worst position. So now he gotta kind of pick himself back up by the bootstraps and like almost reacclimate himself to society. It's sad. I was gonna say, it's almost like a guy that goes to jail, right? You go to jail and then you're domesticated or caged in for a little while. You have these specific responsibilities, and then now all of this is over, and you're just like a lone wolf again out there, just trying to figure it out, you know. And I think that would make it, in just in my opinion, I'm not a man, but just to hear it or see it or think that this could be happening is just, you're just out there now.
And it's a lot worse than what you actually can imagine, because there's so many variables in a separation. You've been with somebody 2, 3, 4 years, and probably longer outside of the marriage, within the relationship. You have mutual friends. That most cases, divorces look a certain way from the outside. And it's usually the weight of it falls on the man. Usually the woman is without blame in some way, whether the perception is that. So Now you're dealing with mutual friends.
Mhm.
Do you continue to deal with those same friends?
Right. Oh,
That when you show up, they're with their wife and you're by yourself?
right.
Or
It's
or
different.
there's a possibility that she might show up, because that's, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So there's a lot that has to be unpacked, and a guy has to go through that. Then not to mention there's a financial part of it,
Yeah.
that he's probably taking a financial hit on the whole situation as well.
Mhm.
Then he's separated from his kids for the first time in most cases.
Mhm.
So there's a lot of things that go into helping a guy pick up those pieces and move forward.
Mhm.
And it's a mentality, it's a mindset.
Mhm.
And the basis of the course is get your mind right, get your body right, and get your money right. Those are the three pillars of the course. There's other things that we do involved, but that's the main thing. Because if you can find a way to mentally get yourself out of that emotional state, to understand what that is, and then from that, build up yourself physically. Because I believe that being a man, we have a obligation to ourselves to find out what our capacity, our body's capacity is. It's a shame to die as a man and not know what you're capable of doing physically. Yes. This is no different than having a sports car. We got a sports car here and never going over 50 miles an hour. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times men, we work better under certain duress, under certain pain. When we're rejected, that gives us that energy. So it's not a bad thing, especially once you get to the point where that's what it is.
You've accepted that.
You accepted it now. Just channel that. Rather than going stalking her.
Oh God.
Rather than going starting fights. Rather than being a certain way. Because like I said, we have these emotions, but we only act them out in a certain way. Mm-hmm. I think the first step is understanding our emotions, why we have these emotions. I remember being in my situation and having these feelings that I never felt. Like, what is this? I don't understand what this is. Mm-hmm. I'm a logical person. I deal with reason, but this right here is not making sense. And I had my peers, my brothers, they're looking at me like, yo, that's not true. What you doing? I'm like, nah, I have to go through this process. And I believe I went through my process, so I'll be able to come out on the other side and say, hey, this is what it is, guys.
Yeah, no, seriously, because women know what it feels like to go through divorce, separation, because we have a sisterhood, right? Mm-hmm. And we can't help but to talk about it. We can't help but to express. We can't help but to say, this is what I'm going through, crying, wine nights, different things. But like, what do guys do?
Yeah.
They rarely reach out to a friend. Yeah. By the time you find out from your boys, it's over.
It's over.
And the whole process is done.
Yeah. Or you're knee deep in the process. And right now, the words that I would have are not as effective because there's no foundation on those words. Mm-hmm. Like I'm trying to, like when I deal with the clients that I have clients already. Mm-hmm. So when I deal with the client, I realize there's not enough foundation for them to get themselves out of it. That's why it's always good to deal with a person who's already got to the point where she's not there. She's done and we can move on. Because if I'm dealing with somebody who still wants her back, there's so much that goes into that. There needs to be a foundation. And there's a reason why she chose to reject you. There's a reason why she said, hey, you're not that guy anymore. There's a reason why she lost faith. She lost confidence. She lost something. You've shown her something that she can't get out. An image of you that is displeasuring to her, distasteful to her, and she can't get that out her mind. And so for me to find a guy in that situation and want her back, that's a big task. And it takes a certain kind of person to be able to look at things in a different way. And he would have to accept certain things that he would normally not accept in order to leverage the situation back in his favor to start to gain traction, which is a task. It's a task. And it takes a lot of weight and a lot of skill to do. But I believe every guy can do it.
I'm just laughing, and it's sad because we have all these inside jokes, and in my head I'm going, you gotta switch the chips. You gotta give her the chips, you know.
Yeah. And that, but it has to be done skillfully.
Yeah. Because you can't just
with the chips. And that's a whole other conversation for it. You know what I'm saying? That's a different lesson.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Because that requires a lot of skills by itself. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And but I think that one of the biggest issues is that we don't have a support system. Yeah. And we don't talk about our situation. And the reason why is because when a woman decides, and as we know, the numbers are 87%, 80-something percent,
yes,
women apply.
divorced.
Yes. So for a man who does not want a divorce, that's a failure for him.
Okay. Yep.
That's all that is. It's a failure.
Okay.
Then he has to face that failure.
Yep.
His parents, what happened? His boys, what happened? You didn't cheat? No, I didn't cheat. So what happened? So now it's like, now okay, all right, I cheat, I got caught. All right, okay, all right, it makes sense. But if it's not that, then what is it?
Right.
How do I fail?
Oh, right, because here's the reality of it. Cheating looks like it's the number one deal breaker. It looks like there's a clear bad guy.
Yeah, it's easy. It's easy to shuffle it up. All right, okay, this makes it. It's easy to make sense of it.
Yes.
Even if that wasn't even a factor.
Right. Exactly. Right. So if there isn't that has to be one of the worst feelings in the world.
For a guy.
Right. What the hell was it?
Yeah. So then now let me tell you what sets in. Low self-esteem sets
in. Yeah.
Lack of confidence. Now you start to question yourself.
Yeah.
Now you're like, I tried everything. I did everything I was supposed to do, but that wasn't good enough.
Right.
And now you're dealing with the fact that someone you trust, that you love, that raised your children, no longer has faith in you as a man.
Mm-hmm.
Who else would?
Right. Oh, man. Right.
She knows you better than anybody else.
Right.
And then part of the reason why you're more than likely, again, separated or divorced is because of what you become in the relationship. You became more of what you are right now versus what you were. So now you're bringing that same thing out into the market again.
Nobody wants it because she didn't want it.
So now mentally, how do we help a guy get through that?
Yeah. It sounds like a lot of work. The reason why I say that is because what you just said is more vast than people would probably take account of, like who you became in it. You're putting that. It's like
you're putting that failed person
served at the restaurant and the plate. You don't like the food, and then you send it back, and then they bring the same plate out and put it on somebody else's table.
Yeah.
Like nobody.
Or another example is you're putting the same thing you failed with back out to try to win. I just lost with this package right here.
Yes, you gotta repackage your whole stuff.
Now I'm going to take the same package I just lost with and go see if somebody else won it.
And hope.
And now, but it's not that whether anybody wants it or not, it's that do I have the confidence to present it? And that's where the problem comes in.
Knowing that you.
And again, a guy been in a 10, 15-year marriage, he hasn't even been presented. He's been bridled in his flirtatious, in his communication with other women. So now he doesn't even have the skill set to even talk to another woman. In most cases. Yeah. And not so much that he needs a skill set to talk, but the skill set is the confidence.
Yeah. Yeah.
And why would he be confident when somebody just said, I don't want you?
Yeah. Yeah.
So then once a lack of confidence comes in, you stop eating, you stop sleeping, you start stressing, your body starts to deteriorate, you start losing your teeth, your hair, your skin, your whole overall health is affected by this trauma that you just experienced. And what's more important than the actual trauma is the emotions that is running these chemicals, because emotions are chemicals that's flowing through your body. These chemicals are no different than having a reaction, sometimes allergic reaction, or a chemical high, or meth, or something. It causes you to do things that you wouldn't normally do.
Right.
And if somebody says, okay, I smoke weed, and when I smoke weed, it makes me sleepy, it makes me tired. You understand those attributes, you understand the repercussions, those side effects to that. Okay, if I do cocaine, nobody does cocaine here, but if I do cocaine, it's gonna make me hyper. So I understand what this chemical is gonna do to me. But but the first time now, you've seen enough people do cocaine, seen enough people smoke weed, seen enough people do a lot of drugs that you can kind of weigh out how it affect you. But when you're dealing with an emotion of pain and hurt and reject. All those things have their different feeling, and they're all hitting you at one time. Then you're dealing with loss and grief. You're losing your family.
Yeah.
You're losing half of your 401. You know what I'm saying? You're losing your house.
Yeah. Well, they say, that dealing with a separation and especially a divorce is like going through 5 stages of grief if somebody dies.
Yes, absolutely.
So people understand what they feel when somebody in their life dies.
But we don't equate it to that. And that is what the problem is, because now guys out here with no real support. He got his cousin that don't really know much more than he do.
Right.
He got his drinking buddy.
Right.
He got the guy that obviously casually talks to. I got a guy who I'm working with, and it's funny because I was training him in the gym, and I had another guy I was training, and they didn't know they worked together. They didn't know they worked at the same job. Didn't even know. They met each other at the gym and realized, hey, they work at the job. And the guy that's going through the divorce was talking about his divorce at work.
Okay.
And the other guy was like, I didn't know who he was, but I know him because he's the guy at the job running his mouth about his divorce.
Okay.
So I say that to say is that men don't have real outlets because most guys don't even want to hear it.
That's crazy.
And that was the feedback I got. Like he needed somebody to talk. He needed to vent. He needed that. He's doing it in an unwanted situation because nobody at the job really want to hear that.
Yeah.
Like I'm going through my divorce. Yeah, I'm just
here to get my check. Bro.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I'm here on business. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't want to hear this.
Right.
And it was sad because I'm like,
no, it is sad.
Dad. So then that's when I had to say, okay, bro, you just can't do that.
Yeah.
You can't talk about your situation to people who don't care.
Right. No, for real. And okay, so we know what prompted the course and what it's sort of going to entail. And even what it's kind of geared toward. But and you touched on it. I want to get more into like, I don't know if I'm asking the right question, but why do you feel like this is needed? What is going to be the result? Get your mind right, get your money right, get your emotions right, right? You don't have anybody to talk to. Why pick this course?
I got a better way to phrase that. It's a money question. The money question is, how do you expect to accomplish? What do you expect to be accomplished at the end of the course? That's probably would be a better question. Like what is the expectation? So the course is 90 days. And in the 90-day process, not in any particular order, but depending on the person, what we want to do is we want to get their body right. I believe that in 90 days, you could do something amazing to your body under the right discipline with the right diet. So we give them a different diet. We change their diet up. Because most cases, guys, they have a dad bod. At this point, married 5, 6, 7 years, probably before it started, boom, let's get rid of the dad bod. That's going to give you confidence. And not only just confidence, it's going to cause you to discipline yourself. So I believe, this is my belief, that if you want to heal your body, you have to do it through your mind.
Right.
If you want to heal your mind, you have to do it through your body. That's just my thing. So when I go to the gym, it's not for physical reasons, it's for mental reasons. My gym membership is for my mental health. Because if I can do something physically that I didn't think I can do before, now I can, it overcomes mental hurdles for me. So the first step of getting back to bases, I call it, is getting physical. Because we're dealing with emotions. And we're dealing with these emotions that we normally only act out in rage, anger. So getting those emotions out physically and overcoming those channel blocks in our heads to say, okay, I don't think I can get through this. You didn't think you could pick that up. But with the right amount of effort, the right amount of focus, you did it. So the first thing is get them in the gym and let's start to chip away at those mental barriers. The next thing is understanding what their emotions are and why they're dealing with these feelings like this. we don't understand emotions. I tell people all the time, emotions are a state of beings that prepare the body for immediate action. Your emotions are indicators, and it lets you know where you are so you can determine what your next move is. That's what emotions are. And so most guys don't have that self-awareness to realize where they are. And they try to run for those emotions. They try to negate those emotions. They try to say, it's not that serious. Or they incite them, go, I can't believe it, I can't believe it, I can't believe it. We either fight our emotions as men or we incite them. When we incite them, we keep repeating them over and over and over to ourselves and making the situation last longer than it should. Or when we fight them, we don't allow them to pass. I like to look at emotions as water. It's a chemical process that takes 90 seconds to go through your body. And once it goes through your body, 90 seconds later, you don't feel that anymore. The only way you'll continue to feel it if you incite it or you fight it. If you don't allow it to pass, it won't pass. And if you allow it to pass through and then you keep ruminating that same emotion, it'll never pass.
Yeah.
And so we have to understand that. And guys have a problem with that because we don't genuinely deal with our emotions. Women, they live in a pool of emotions. They know how to navigate those whitewater rafts of emotions. Guys, we like to stay on solid ground. So when it comes to these types of things, we're not good at them. We're not even good at talking about them. But they're there for a reason. And I think as a man, once we get to a certain point, we have to start to contend with our emotions and allow them. See, women don't have a problem allowing things. Men, we do. Women are like water. They flow. They allow things. We have to control things. So we want to control our emotions.
Yeah.
We can't do that. And that's the biggest mistake. So once we get into the gym, we figure out how to chip away at those mental blocks. And then once we start to do that, we start to look into emotions and understand what they are and get our mindset right on how to deal with these emotions and understand that, guess what? This is just our lot of land. This is what we have to deal with. This is what our cross to bear. So let's just bear it. Let's just allow it. Let's just get through it. Let's just figure it out.
Yeah.
But you're not figuring it out by yourself. So a man doesn't want to figure it out if he doesn't have he doesn't have a team. He doesn't have someone to help him out with it. So he just has to either ignore it or he'll sit in a pool and eventually self-harm comes. Because suicide is a big thing with men. More men commit suicide. And the numbers are, I don't have the actual numbers, but I know that they're significantly higher after separation or divorce.
Yeah, they are, actually. Yeah.
So these are the things that are happening, but nobody talks about it.
No.
You wouldn't know it unless you look it up.
Right.
Yeah. When have you ever seen a news story? Man kills himself after his wife leaves him. You don't hear about it, but it happens all the time. And you'll be surprised how high those numbers are and not have heard about it. So I say this right here. And this is my big promise. This is like the selling point of my course. And I'm not trying to sell the course now, but this is the selling point. My objective is for after the 90 days, for that man to become the man that the woman that left him will regret that she ever made that decision.
Okay.
That is the end result. He's going to look better. He's going to be more confident. He's going to have a better understanding. He's going to have a better command on his faculties and how he moves. He's going to have a better image because we're going to work on his image. As most of you guys know, may not know, I was an image consultant for many years. I was a barber. I used to take guys to the stores to get their outfits for their prom. People call me today and ask me about fashion advice and everything. So we're going to take them from getting their mind right, getting their body right, and then, again, the money part, that will come. Because it just really depends on a person. Some people don't have money that they didn't get taken for nothing. And some people been taken a lot. Some people just had a long separation where their credit is bad and now they got to get their credit back together, or they want to protect some assets that, so there's a lot of stuff that goes with that. But for the most part, the end result is for that guy, whether he wants to or not, to be able to buy that 2-seater and put a 25-year-old in that thing and have that woman sick because he did that. I know that's bad. But
what are the signs of a stroke? That's what I would have.
No, but again, see, there's consequences to everything.
Yes.
And the consequences of her not believing in him has to be that, oh, how is he ever going to get over it?
Wow, yeah.
Because, see, a woman is going to win that battle every day of the week, twice on Sundays.
Yes.
Because all she needs to do is get a boyfriend, post on social media, go to Cancun with the girls. She'll have all that support, so it'll never settle in for her. She'll look to be happy. She'll have the kids. She'll have the house. She's at the gym. She got her hair done. She's doing all these different things. She's doing too much.
Doing the most.
And all he's doing is suffering and pain.
I'm laughing, but this is not funny. This is sad.
It is.
So,
but he's in
that's
pain.
exactly what she's doing.
And his revenge, if you want to call it that, because I don't really like to use that term,
Yeah.
but just for lack of a better term, his revenge is going to be long term. Hers is going to be short term.
Mm-hmm.
His is going to be, and watch this right here. You also got to remember that in most cases, the kids are put in a bad situation.
Yeah.
Where they're looking at him versus her. They see him broken. He's a shell of who he was.
Yes.
He's detached. He doesn't have the benefit to even take up for himself without making her look bad, which most men won't do that. They shouldn't do that.
No.
So then now it's going to be one side of how the kids see the whole situation.
Yeah.
So the only thing he can do for those kids is to become something that they can look at and go, that's my dad.
Mm-hmm. Right.
That's my dad.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't care what she said or what it looked like, but I'm seeing this right here.
Yeah.
And this is something that I can get behind. This is something I can follow. This is what my dad is supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
That is his revenge, to become something more than what she left.
Mm-hmm.
And in his mind, he has to say, I'm going to make it. I'm going to put her in a situation where she's going to question, did I make the right decision or not?
Oh, that's the worst position you could ever put him in.
But that's the only way he can ever overcome that.
Yeah. Is to have that as a thought, even.
To have it as a thought and that be his mission. Because regardless whether he wants her back or not, it's not going to matter because he's going to become something that's more desirable, that he'll never have to go through that again. Mm-hmm. And that's the goal of the course. Mm-hmm. To get him to the point. And to be honest with you, this course doesn't necessarily have to be for somebody who's separated. This could be for any man, because every single man needs these things. Mm-hmm. But it just so happens, I'll tell a story. I ever tell you a story about the guy walking in an old country and he saw a man sitting on the porch in a rocking chair. There's a dog on the other side of the porch. Yes. So he walks up to the guy drinking some lemonade. He says, hey, how you doing? He's talking to the guy. And there's a dog on the far end of the porch. And the dog name is Old Yeller. And every couple of minutes, the dog goes, "Arr!" And then the guy's talking, it's like, what's up with your dog? You know, and a couple of minutes go by. "Arr!" Every few minutes, he just make this little howl, this little sound. And the old guy on the porch, he said, oh, Old Yeller, ain't nothing wrong with him. He just laying on a nail. And the guy was like, he's laying on a nail? Like, yeah, he's laying on a nail. He said, why don't he just get up? The old guy said, because it don't hurt bad enough. And that's what the problem is with most men. It takes a situation like that, a separation, for them to finally realize they're not doing what they need to do. For them to finally realize that they're stagnated. For them to finally realize that they're not living up to their potential. For them finally to realize they could be in a better shape. For them finally to realize they need to make more money. For them finally to realize that they're watching football and doing all these other things and not focused on their family. And they just let their family slip away. It takes something like this in order for the guy to realize it hurts. It hurts bad enough now. I need this. Guys won't even get in shape because they got their family, they got their wife, they got their job. They feel they need to I could just hang out and chill, watch the game. I work hard. You're doing all the right stuff. And most guys are doing the right stuff. Most guys are not out there doing this crazy stuff. They're doing the right thing. But there's still more to life than that. There's still more to keeping a relationship. Growth is the factor of a good relationship. As we talked about earlier, the biggest thing is people try to grow in a relationship. You have to grow individually. And individual growth will grow automatically the relationship. But you can't grow as a couple. Just get that out your head. You can't grow as a couple. There's no such thing. I'm going to be stronger in certain things. You're going to be stronger in certain things. It's when I strengthen up my weaknesses and you strengthen up your weaknesses, we grow together. But if we're trying to focus on the same thing as far as growth, I may not need it as much as you need it in that area.
Right.
So it doesn't balance the relationship
At
up.
that time.
Exactly. So it's all about individual growth. And like I said, this course will help every man. Every man. Understanding your emotions, understanding your mentality, your mindset, getting your body right, being aggressive and going back out there to compete in the market, the free enterprise market. That's right. That's what every man needs.
I know. It's sad, not sad, but it's actually a good thing. And as you were talking, I was thinking about how even outside of a divorce or separation. Now, in this case, the divorce or the separation was the catalyst that caused them to see, right, all of these things that could have been going a little lax, because we all get a little lax. But this, in my head too, I'm going, wow, like even a young kid before he got with a woman, but knowing that these are the things that should already be in place before you even go to get one.
Yes.
That way, this will be less likely to happen if this is your mentality going into it. I think in relationships, one of the biggest words that people love about relationships is like they think it's founded on love. And the fact of the matter is relationships are founded on work and growth. But the biggest thing that happens in a relationship is actually laziness. You stop working because you feel like
which you stop growing.
You stop growing and you feel like you kind of won the race. Some people feel like marriage is the end goal, where marriage is actually the beginning.
Yes.
Now it's time for you to start.
Now the pajamas come out, the flannels come out, the bonnets come out, the no makeup comes out, the Resh Fuchsia wig come off, and that's just like
that's not what I saw. And we just get
and when a woman's side, a woman will get real comfortable, and a guy will see her at her worst when he doesn't have to. He doesn't want to see that. But then on the other side, a woman will see him in his leisure.
Yes.
No woman wants to see a guy relaxing.
Oh my goodness! You know what? The funny thing about it is, I don't know if this happened to you growing up as a kid, right? You growing up as a kid and you want to look busy, so your mom lets you play because you chilling. Before you actually go outside, you got to clean something, you got to do something. And I think that that is true for a lot of women. Some woman the other day was getting flack online because she said, the last thing I want to see when I come to the house is my man playing video games. Like, I can't stand the way it looks myself. Lucky for us, I haven't had to ever see that, but that would grind something inside of me. And so when you say the things like, well, I wasn't cheating, so what was it? It was things like that. It was like I'm playing the game. I'm stuck on fantasy football.
Watch this right here. Like, the same way women feel entitled to certain things in a relationship, like they feel, and I'm not even going to talk about what women's entitlements are, because we do that all the time. I'm going to talk about what guys feel like they're entitled to. If a guy goes to work, he feels after he gets home, he should be able to play his game.
That's right. I've heard that.
I disagree with that. I disagree with it. Because I believe, my belief is this right here. What you do from 9 to 5 will make you a living. That's your minimum responsibility. But did your wife marry you for your minimum responsibility? Or did she marry you because she felt that you will be able to take her and her family, your family, to another level? And doing the minimum is going to work and coming home and then having leisure. But doing a step above that is from what you do from 5 to 9 is more important. 9 to 5 will get you a living. 5 to 9 will make you a fortune. It will change your future. So that is the process right there. And if a man is not committed to that early, then he's going to develop those leisure habits.
Leisure activities and stuff.
Yes. Now again, going to the gym. That's not a leisure activity. That's necessity. That's necessity. Some type of martial arts, some type of boxing, kickboxing. That's necessity. All right. Even having guy time once a week.
Absolutely.
That's necessity. So I'm not talking about stuff like that. I'm not trying to get on guys that, you're not gonna. Stop being triggered.
Stop, right.
Yeah, just stop. I'm talking about sitting in your house, showing your kids and your wife that you ain't got nothing else to do but fumble around on a game with a headset and an arcade chair.
Wow.
That's just me.
Yeah.
Even with the sports. I mean, I think you guys are fanatics. Again, I'm getting a lot of flack from this. But at the same time, if your family is not financially independent, I don't believe you should even take the time that you take watching these games. Mm-hmm. Being a fanatic. Mm-hmm. All right, you catch a game here. I'm not saying there's something wrong with that. Mm-hmm. Maybe once a week you do a football day with your friends. That's cool. But there's a different level to it when you're not doing something, you're not doing all you can to put your family in the best possible situation.
Yeah. And we know people are gonna get triggered because we just know. Because here's the thing: most people live a life of mediocrity. We live a life of doing only what we have to do, and we never go above and extra like that. There's a saying that says, "There's not a lot of traffic on an extra mile," because people are just not doing that. You just said you go to work 9 to 5, and you feel like I should be able to, whatever.
Get you a bare minimum.
Yeah, and then you go to work for 9 to 5. You give somebody else that little bit of time that you got, and then you come home, and now you feel like, whew, I did what I had to do, so let me just not do nothing else. And the crazy part about it is that women aren't even that crazy when it comes to that. But most women get unattracted to the bare minimum.
Yes.
And because we're attracted by glitz and glam and other things that we see. We're just so motivated by the things that we see.
It's primal. Primal need and desire for a woman is for security. Mm-hmm. And to be loved, adored. Those two things is what a woman wants. Mm-hmm. While you're cheering for another man, she's not being adored.
No, and I'm jealous.
And it's not providing any type of security.
No. Oh no. So now you're not doing either one.
So let me say this to the gentlemen who are going to push back on what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. I'm saying this for the reason that there will come a point where you're doing it your way. You're watching your games, you're playing your video games, you're doing all that stuff. But then the day that your wife has this disdain for you and you can't figure it out, just think back to what I'm saying now. All right, look, I've been around long enough to see it.
But you don't look like it, so that's why people don't know.
That's fine, but I've been around long enough to see it. I've seen it happen. Mm-hmm. Now again, there's some people that their careers in sports, so that's what they do. Mm-hmm. There's people that used to play sports, that's what they do. Mm-hmm. But the 5'5" guy, 5'6" with heels, that never played nothing, he needs to be doing a lot more to secure his situation. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. Versus chasing some football stuff. Mm-hmm. Again, but
because this is the thing. It's not that you're just, harping down on guys, and this is a relationship thing. This is this could actually be preventative.
Yes.
If guys do these type of things first, as opposed to after they already get banged in the head by their wife, looking at them going, ugh.
And just for the other side of this, if you do what you're supposed to do from the beginning and establish something, then go to the games. Go fly out to the games. Take your wife to the game. Go sit in the box. You know what I'm saying? Go sit behind home plate. You know what I'm saying? Make it an event. Mm-hmm. Not something that she has to be like, oh, he in there watching football. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm talking about, guys. Mm-hmm. Now, if your wife watch football with you,
you all set.
You're good. Mm-hmm. That's something you enjoy together.
Y'all do together, right.
But if you got a whole man cave that she don't even come down there, and you down there for hours watching football, playing video games, now I'm telling you, men, there's going to be a problem.
She up there on the phone talking about.
Because there's going to be a guy that's not playing video games, that's putting that same time you put in that video game, putting it into her. Or at least putting it in and trying to get at her.
Seriously.
So again, you can say whatever pushback you want, but I'm only talking to the person. Again, it goes back to the story about the dog.
Yeah.
It don't hurt bad enough.
Yeah.
Right now, any guy who's mad at what I'm saying, it don't hurt bad enough.
Mm-hmm.
It don't hurt bad enough that you're 40 pounds overweight.
It don't hurt.
It don't hurt bad enough that you're literally 3 months away from bankruptcy because if you lose your job, everything's gone. Yeah. It don't hurt bad enough because you and your wife are good right now, and the minute you're not good, you're not going to have the information. You're not even going to know what to say. It don't hurt bad enough. Mm-hmm. But when you start having health issues, when you start losing confidence because your wife is looking at you a different way, when you start getting stressed out at the job because they're starting to close down certain departments and you haven't done anything outside of what you've been doing, you don't have nothing, no irons in the fire, you have nothing. And then now you're losing confidence in yourself. What do you think she's doing? She's losing confidence in you too. So again, it's a chain reaction, and I just think that, again, as I said before, is a reason why I only deal with guys who are past the point of no return in the relationship. Right. Because there's enough pain there. Yeah. For them to say, okay, I need help. But for somebody, I can watch my phone, I can play, all right.
You go right ahead.
It's not for you. I'm not talking to you.
Right. It's
not for you.
At least not now.
As you were, sir.
Not yet.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But at some point, if your situation does start to change, at least you've heard another perspective. Yeah. And you can say, well, I would have probably did this, but let me look at it this way. Let me see if this might work for me. Yeah. I think personally that things like this are needed. I think there should be another one too, another course. Mm-hmm. But they're definitely needed because the fact of the matter is this information is either not out or it's gate kept. Mm-hmm. You know, and the problem with, and I can see why it's being gate kept, and it's because of the resistance that it's met with, because it's contrary to popular belief. Like, it's contrary to what we've migrated toward. We've migrated toward mediocrity and laziness, and things have shifted so much. And so now going back to the basics of masculinity and what men should be doing and what should be motivating and inspiring to y'all, going back to the basics of relationships, people are realizing that if it wasn't broke, we shouldn't have tried to fix it. It was working at one point. You know what? It wasn't perfect. Right. And because it wasn't perfect, there's a contingency of people saying we could tweak this. Yes. Maybe we should do this, maybe we should do that. We should do it a little different. And then what they didn't do was be honest with themselves and realize that the more they tweaked it, the worse it got. Mm-hmm. Like, can we admit that society has fallen tremendously since our parents were in our situations? Yeah, we went there. Like, okay, let me say this now. You get at somebody now. I think it's our parents that failed. Yeah. It's the generation before us. Yeah. Right before us. Right me. Before. I'm 48. Right before us. I'm talking to you OGs that didn't teach us the right way. Maybe because the crack stuff was out and the drugs and that's what happened. I don't know what was, but for some reason we were not taught. We were deceived. We wasn't taught right. I've always said we've been let down by our teachers. Yeah. And that's a reality. Yeah. So a lot of us are in situations because we had no real guidance. Yeah. We didn't know what was going on. Again, the men and the generation before, they allowed this movement to take grassroots. They allowed themselves to be kicked out of their houses. They allowed us to grow up without fathers. Mm-hmm. I'm the generation that grew up without fathers. Mm-hmm. I was born in 75. They started that liberal, that women's lib thing in 68, 70. Yes. I was born into that. Yeah. By that time, it's full swing. Get that man out the house. Oh, yeah, too. Mm-hmm. So it was the generation before us that really let us down. Yeah. There's no reason for as many men like myself to have grown up without a real father, without somebody, like the stuff that I'm teaching is something your father should have taught you. Yeah. But either he didn't know because he was distracted by the 70s movement, the 60s movement, whatever was going on, or he just was, I don't know, he just didn't teach. Mm-hmm. didn't feel it was his obligation, wasn't there to teach. So this is all basic men stuff that men need to know.
Yeah. A lot of founding principles weren't passed down because they got lost like in translation. Like the great grandfather to the grandfather tells the son, "Oh, this son gotta be out the house though." There's a break in the chain, and now everything just falls apart.
Let's go a step further back. And this is a broad statement, not for everybody, because there's some people this doesn't apply to, just the concept of it. My father, my grandfather, my great-grandfather, my great-great-grandfather, my great-great-great-grandfather, let's just say hypothetically speaking, that could be off by one or two, he was dealing with slavery. And let's just say my second great-grand was right out of slavery. And all he was in was survival mode.
Yeah.
How do I figure out how to navigate this new situation? And then the great-grandfather was dealing with segregation and Jim Crow laws. Again, survival mode. What is he going to teach his kid? How to survive. Only thing he knows.
Right.
At one point, one of those great-grands couldn't even read in most cases.
Oh, yeah.
Now, again, everybody, and I'm going to say this, everybody's grandparents wasn't slaves. Some just wasn't. So, again, I see the comments. My grandfather wasn't slave. Okay, that's possible. And I believe that a lot of us were already here. We didn't come from Africa. I believe that we were all native. I know for a fact I am.
Me too.
Okay, so and some of us never even seen slavery. We probably had slaves in some cases. That's another discussion for another time. But what I'm saying is that in those trying times, in those survival mode, what are you really teaching your kids? What is being passed down other than the cortisone?
The stress hormones.
Yes.
That you're just emanating.
How to figure out how to get by today.
Yeah.
That's why there's no generational wealth, because there was nothing passed down. There's no collective knowledge passed down. There's always a break in the chain.
Dang.
The chain has to start with this generation, actually.
Wow. Oh, yeah.
I mean, we've seen more wealth generated in this generation. Last generation was the first generation that Black wealth really started to prosper. Yes, back in the 60s, the Black community prospered as a whole. They broke that down.
Yes.
We build it back up, and now you start to see real prosperity in the Black community. And now prosperity has to turn to generational wealth, but it has to start from a mentality, a mindset. The biggest problem is that when we get our money, Black people, Black men, our first thing is to try to look rich. Is try to make ourselves look better than the person that's next to us that lives in the same neighborhood. And so we don't save, we don't plan out. Again, we talk about the 50-50. We come in together for support just to get by, but not to support to get over the hump. Coming together 50-50, depending on how you do it, is not going to necessarily get you over the hump. It'll put you in survival mode, because now you're splitting costs, you're splitting bills, but you're still spending at the same clip. Now you have extra money to spend versus extra money to save. That's where the sacrifice comes in. We're not teaching that. So again, mindset, body right, money right. You create generational wealth, you create something outside of an employer-employee relationship. You stop trading time for dollars, and you're able to find something that you can do, really find your gift, something that you do like nobody else does, and you put that into the world. This is what I want to teach the men. Now you don't ever have to worry about confidence, because confidence comes from what you know. Confidence comes in your ability, your capabilities. That's where confidence comes from.
Right.
And once I'm capable of doing something and be successful in it, my confidence is off the roof. So now I take that into the sexual marketplace. I take that back into the dating place, and now I got value, because I'm not just a guy with a job that eventually is going to do the same thing, get comfortable,
Right.
and be back in the same situation. Now, one, I got understanding now.
Mm-hmm.
I got knowledge now.
Yeah.
I got a grasp on who I am and how my emotions affect me.
Yeah.
I don't overreact. I don't fall into the Mitch mode when things don't go my way. I step up to the bell. I take the challenge.
Mm-hmm.
I go and I put myself through trauma 2, 3, 4 times a week in the gym.
Mm-hmm.
I'm harder on me than anybody can ever be hard on. Pause. Didn't even, whatever.
That was too much.
That was wild. But anyway, so I'm putting myself through these things, becoming a warrior.
Yeah.
I'm living like a warrior. I'm not eating sugary foods and sweets and drinking soda pop and having a kitty diet. I'm disciplined. I'm not at the grocery store in the checkout aisle picking up the Snickers and the candies. Yeah. Like, mommy, can I have this? No, I'm not that guy.
Right.
I'm a grown man. I'm disciplining myself.
Yes. Yeah.
I cook the food my family eats.
Yeah.
I'm still fasting.
Mm-hmm.
This is the mindset. This is how we turn it around, guys.
Mm-hmm.
This is what we do to turn it around. And guess what? Every guy has that on the inside of him. Every guy has that thing. And as I'm speaking right now, some guy is getting charged up right now.
Mm-hmm.
Some guys say that's right. Some guys say that's so true.
Right.
That's the guy I want to work. I want to pull that out of you.
Yeah.
To be that warrior. To be undeniable.
Mm-hmm.
To be a formidable opponent in every human endeavor.
Mm-hmm.
When I show up, they go, oh, he showed up. Damn. Yeah. We gonna race bicycles. I pull up. Oh, man. No. We had a fashion show.
Oh, God.
You know what I'm saying? Like, here he goes. Like, that's who I want to be. That's what my goal is, to be that guy. No matter what competition I'm in, I show up. It's like, oh, here we go. Wouldn't you want to do that? Wouldn't you want to be that guy? And if you are that guy, your woman will respect you. Mm-hmm. She will love you and loathe over you. She will look at you in such a way because she has the guy. Mm-hmm. Not a guy, the guy. Mm-hmm. That's what you want. And you'll never have to worry about it ever again if you become that. Mm-hmm. Or you can roll your dice your way and see how divorce is happening consistently. Some things happening, these women are not happy, and we can blame it all on the women, or we can be men and take responsibility for what we can take responsibility for.
Yeah, that's so true.
There's certain things that you can change, certain things you can't change. You can't change whether you're 5'5" or not. Right. I'm 5'10". I can't change that. Right. I can't change whether I have hair or not. Okay, I do my best to keep it. I can't change the color of my skin. No. But I can change. I can change the choices that I can change, which is what I eat, how I eat, when I eat, whether I work out. I can control what I look like to some degree. Mm-hmm. That's the one thing I can control, and I discipline myself with me first. Yeah. Listen, man, I'm saying this to you. Your body is your trophy. It is a distinct indication of your hard work. It is your reward for doing something that most people are not willing to do. 80% of the people in the United States are obese. And if you walk up in a place in shape, that shows that you're different than everybody else. Mm-hmm. You're willing to do something that nobody else is willing to do. No, that's true. You're disciplined. Mm-hmm. You have a principle. There's something different about you. If I'm looking at a businessman, if I'm in business, I'm looking at a guy who's overweight, he's making bad decisions, he's not disciplined, versus somebody who's in shape, he's disciplined, and he makes good decisions. Mm-hmm. It's a simple choice. Mm-hmm. If I look at that as an employer, why wouldn't a woman look at that as somebody that she's taking this man on? Why is that? But again, it's easier to just be fat.
No, it is though.
But it's really harder though. Because you're shaving time, and you know it's shaving time off your life. Mm-hmm. You love your kids, you love your wife, get in shape. You're gonna give them 5 to 10 more years. Mm-hmm. 5 to 10 good years, not years sitting in a situation where you're sick and feeble.
Yes. Yeah.
We got to change this, guys.
No, seriously.
And I'm the guy that's going to help you do that. Because again, people that know me, I'm the most disciplined person. I'm strict, militant, all the way. Guess what? But I still live my life though. It's fun being the best at what I do. It's fun being at the top of the heap. It's fun being at the top of the food chain, guys. That's the fun. The fun is not playing the video games. The fun is not, saying rooting for a team that you ain't got no vested interest in. The fun is being an apex predator and knowing that you're at the top of the food chain. That's the fun part. Fun is flying out to the game and getting the box seats and sitting in there with the owners. That's fun. Or going to the sideline. That's fun. Fun is creating a video game and selling it to millions of people. You know what I'm saying? And making the money off the people that's playing it. That's fun. That changes your perspective. It changes how you move. Or, like I said, you can keep doing things the way you're doing it, and I hope it work out for you.
Right. But we know that for 87%, it doesn't.
It doesn't.
It doesn't.
It doesn't.
Against
it just doesn't work out for most people.
Mm-hmm.
It just doesn't. But nothing I said will hurt you.
No.
But only make you better.
That's so true.
You just don't want to hear it if that's where you at.
Yeah.
But I haven't said anything that should offend any real men.
Mm-hmm.
Be better.
Oh God, you just said real.
I know. Be a real man. Yeah, there's males and there's men and there's men. There's lesser, there's greater.
Yeah.
There's men that are better than me. There's men that are stronger than me. There's men that are better looking than me. There's better, faster. They got more money than me. I'm lesser than some men.
Mm-hmm.
But not many. Because I do the work to make sure I keep myself in that higher tier.
Mm-hmm.
I'm competing with everybody in the world. Mm-hmm. Every man is competing for the same thing. Mm-hmm. Respect, beautiful women, resources. Mm-hmm. Did I miss anything?
No.
Every man is competing for the same three things: respect, beautiful women, and resources. Mm-hmm. Go to any middle school. Go to any high school. Go to any elementary school. That's what the boys are competing for. Mm-hmm. You run the race to get the respect. So you can get the pretty girl.
Yeah. And
resources is, I got this kind of lunch. My lunch is better than yours. My sneakers is better. It's the same thing. This is what it's all the same thing.
It is.
It doesn't change. But the way I'm saying it may sound uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But it's the same thing.
Right.
Go ask your 5-year-old. Or maybe a 10-year-old.
Yeah.
He's competing for respect.
Yeah.
He's competing for the attention of the pretty girl.
Yeah.
And resources.
Yeah.
Whatever that means at that time.
Yeah. Our son got the resources though, because they love his snacks.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he coming with all of his snacks. Yeah, he got the resources. He got commodities he can trade.
Yeah.
That's what it is. So
yeah, it's funny.
Yeah, so that's what it really boils down to, man. It's just about galvanizing who you really are. If you ever ran track, you ever played football, if you ever had any type of competition, you was a head of the debate club or oratorical contest, whatever, you know what it means to compete. Mm-hmm. You know that feeling, you get that pit in your stomach, those butterflies you get, that is where you should be right now. Mm-hmm. Going, okay, I'm about to do something that most people think I can't do. Mm-hmm. I'm about to come up out of this situation. I'm about to overcome this situation, and I'm going to come out on the other end of this, victorious. Mm-hmm. I'm going to win this battle. And guys, I'm going to tell you this, if you're going through a separation or a divorce, if she wins, you lose. But if you win, everybody wins. What do you mean? Well, there's no victory. If she's trying to win, that means that she's trying to put you out. She's trying to oust you. And that will affect you in a relationship with the kids. And a lot of times women in that state don't know what's best for them. That's why they made an erratic decision.
Yeah. True.
But if you win, you have, at this point, you have the mental focus, the mental acuity to say, okay, this is the right direction. So I can be there for my kids in the right capacity. Mm-hmm. I can cover her in her mistakes and understand that at some point I do still have some type of responsibility where she is the mother of my children. So I still have to communicate with her in a certain way. Mm-hmm. It's another thing we teach, communication skills, how to deal with her. You might got a business with her.
Yeah.
You still got kids together.
Right.
How do you communicate with somebody who's purposely sabotaging you, purposely saying slick stuff, purposely doing little things, pitting the kids against you? That's another part of the course, helping you get through those things, those text messages that come through, and you're just looking at them going, you know the app that got the thing that the fake text, like, and they erase it and come back. Yeah, we help you with that too. You know what I'm saying? So again, I had a client. We finished our workout. He was like, "Yo, read this text." I'm looking at the text. I don't know what the text means. So you gotta explain this to me. Some weird stuff with this person and his daughter and the therapist. And I was like, I said, you know how to respond to that? Fuck that. Just put fuck that. That's how you respond to that. Because they're really trying you. They're really getting at you. And at some point, you got to decide how much of this you're going to take. That's my response.
Right.
I don't know what he put. I don't know how he responded. But fuck this. That's the response. I'm out. Yeah. Y'all do what you look. Yeah, I'll be over here.
Right.
I'm not gonna chase this. I'm not gonna run behind this. I'm not gonna be subject to this BS. I'm gonna be over here. If you need me, I'm here. If not, I'm good. And he was caught up in the emotion.
Yeah.
He didn't understand the situation from looking at it from the inside. He's trying to galvanize something that he shouldn't even be working for. He's working for something that wasn't supposed to be working for.
Right. Yeah.
Trying to gain something that he should have never lost.
Right.
And not that he even lost it, but all of a sudden.
Right.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
So, and I'm not to tell his business, but his daughter, he hasn't seen her since the divorce.
Right.
And he's trying to quote unquote build a relationship with his daughter. She's 15.
Right.
He never was absent from the family. Never left.
Right.
Raised that woman. I said to him, this is what I said to him. I said, there's not one person on this planet that kissed that girl on her forehead more than you. There's not one person on the planet that she cried in their arms more than you. There's not one person that loves that daughter, that girl more than you. There's not one person who carried her up from the car sleep more than you, tucked her in her bed more than you, that's more happy for her, that sat up in the middle of the night thinking about her safety. There's not one person that woke up in the middle of the night and checked on her more than you. And you mean to tell me at this point you gotta build a relationship with her?
Right. Where did it go?
You don't gotta build shit with her.
Right.
It's built already. If that's not enough, then she need to go ahead.
Right.
If she's being brainwashed or manipulated by her mother, she's 15. She has consequences just like everybody else. Not only that, and this is what I told him again, not to get into his business, she's seen boys now. So now your relationship is going to be different with her now anyway.
Even if you were home.
If you were in the house, it'd be, hi, Dad. Hey, all right, hey, babe. Hey,
that's text messages.
So what are we going to do? We're going to go to Froyo every week now? What are we going to do? Sit at the burger spot, eat fries, and shake? No, it's not going to be that. She's not into that at this point.
Nope.
So you need to understand that. And that was the understanding. That was the epiphany for him.
Yes.
To show him that although it's hard that you feel like you're losing, but you was going to lose that anyway in that capacity. Yes. So now you have to understand that the transition of the relationship between you and your daughter, the divorce is making it look a certain way.
But it was going to be this anyway.
But it's not that way.
Right.
So I had to help him maneuver through that and tell him not to jump through those hoops they were trying to put him through.
Right.
Because now he's feeling, well, if I don't at least put an effort in, it makes it seem like I don't care. That's a trick.
Yes.
It's a trick. No, don't fall for that. I don't have to prove that I can. I've done it already. Right. You're in college, paid for by me.
Right.
The sweat of my brow.
Yeah.
The car you're driving, I paid for it. The house you're living in, I paid for it.
Right.
I've been here your whole 15 years. You've never seen another situation other than this. It's been the last 9 months that I haven't been around. And I got to build a relationship with you? Out of here. Yeah, so these are the types of things that men got to go through. And how do you go through that? Who do you talk to? If you don't have a real support group of a bunch of men that really understand what this is about, they're going to give you bad advice.
Yeah, they are.
They're going to give you bad advice. They're going to give you bad advice. And I see it happen all the time.
Yeah.
So that's what this is for. It's that type of support. You know, again, I've been around. I know some things. And all I'm trying to do is just share what I know to help guys that are going through that time. That it's a time that you, again, we talked about earlier. There's not a man that's been through a hard breakup or separation that hasn't at least the thought crossed his mind about suicide. Not one that I've spoke to. Now, whether they follow through with it, most of them haven't because they're still here.
Right.
But for the most part, the thought.
Yeah.
And some guys don't even go through those things and think about it.
Right.
Suicide is a real thing.
No, it
when
is.
you feel that you've lost everything.
Right. Like, what's the point?
Yes.
Being here, what's the point?
That did his best for 30 plus years.
Mm-hmm.
And it ended like this.
Mm-hmm.
And I tell him, your fault. You allow this, you allow that, you didn't do this, you didn't do that. And it's not a blame game, it's a realization.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll never let these things happen again. It's to fortify your weaknesses. It's to find those things that you could change in your life and become something more than what you were.
Yeah.
That's all it's about.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds good to you, gentlemen. That's just really that simple.
So when is this planning to launch?
I'm gonna tell you what my problem is. My problem is I'm a perfectionist. I'm articulate. I'm detail oriented. I want everything to be right. But I've been told by the people that are helping me put this together, I just need to get my product out and evolve it as I go.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm doing my best to get this done. I would say I'm probably about 70% done.
Okay.
The courses are done. Information is there. We're going through the edit, mix and mastering the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Then we start to add some of the bonuses and support, figure out how to put the support together. We have the platforms. It's finance. I got a finance company that's going to finance it. We're working on our marketing, putting our marketing kit together. Chose the platform, how we're going to actually distribute the program. So everything is pretty much done. It's just the tedious little work that has to be put in to actually make it a package. That's the part right there.
Okay.
And then I still have to do some video stuff, little bit of stuff. So.
Gotcha.
But it's a lot. It's really ultimately it's really about 5 courses in one.
Mm-hmm.
You have mindset, personal development. You have personal training with a diet plan.
Mm-hmm.
You have your financial part of it.
Mm-hmm.
You have your communications, how to communicate.
Right.
And we have our branding, which is our image consulting. So it's 5 parts. So all those things are in one.
Yeah.
And there's some other things that or be subcategories that fall within one of those, but can still be isolated on their own.
Yeah.
So it's encompassing. It's a 90-day course that I believe that after 90 days, and this is the thing, after 90 days, if you're not completely 100 satisfied that you are that guy or on your way to being that guy, have not seen results, you don't not just get your money back, you get 150% of your money back.
What's that?
Means that if I wasted your time, you get paid for the course if it didn't work.
Oh, wow.
That's how sure I am this will work.
Wow.
150% money back guarantee.
Mm.
Here, hold that for wasting your time if it didn't work. Here's your money and take that for wasting your time.
Wow.
That's how confident I am. And because I know it works. I have clients that it's working for right now. I got testimonials right now.
And so you're also going to be willing and able to work with people individually.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And that's
not
the part,
just the course where they're
that's the part
it.
that we're figuring out. How do I separate that? We're putting that part in the course where there's going to be. I believe that it's one thing to get me individually because people that have me now, they have me individually, but I can only take on with so many people.
Right.
So I understand that if you do an individual course, one-on-one, then you can only learn from me.
That's right.
But if you do a group course with other people that's going through the same thing, as you know, in a classroom, you learn from your peers as well. So I'm putting that part together now. That's pretty much when we know, okay, we got this part together, how we're going to unroll it, what it's going to look like, what's the modules going to look like, how many actual courses during the course of this 90 days, this 12 weeks we're going to put into, like, okay, say it's 36 lessons. How many of those lessons are we going to bring out at one point in the 12 weeks? Are we going to do 3 courses for the first week, 2 for the second week, so on and so forth? Then are we going to add 1 week of group training, 1 week of individual? So that's the part where we're trying to figure out right now. But I believe that, you know, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be real good. I think this is a passion project for me.
Yeah.
This is something that I'm dedicated to.
Yeah.
I'm on Wall Street. I shut down my whole summer, and I'm not going back to New York until I'm finished with this course. I'm totally dedicated. I'm a 9 to 5 with this right here. This is what I'm doing from 9 o'clock in the morning to 5 o'clock at night every day until it's done. So I'm completely committed because I believe it's something that guys need. It's needed because I don't see anything like this.
No.
Especially in our community. This is for everybody now. But in our community, we just don't want to talk. And I believe that most guys in our community are not even going to take advantage of it. They're just not. Like, they're gonna be like that dog laying on the porch. It's not gonna hurt bad enough. You know, hopefully once you see the situation with your wife or your ex spiraling down to that point, that you'll say, you know what, it's gonna make sense for me to get in a situation where I can get the information that I need to get over this, because all that's gonna happen is you're gonna drag it out.
Yeah.
You're gonna drag it out.
Yeah.
And 6 months, 9 months, a year later, you're still dealing with pain.
Right.
And then eventually you're gonna pacify that pain, bandage it up, and never allow it to heal, and it's gonna open up in your next relationship.
Yeah.
And then the next part of the course is, once you get back to base, your confidence, your money, this and that, what we want to do now, put you back into the marketplace, show you how to get the one, the right one, and how to keep her. Excuse me, that's the fun part.
Yeah.
So by then you'll have that convertible, that 2-seater. Again, guys, I say it because you see how it bothers her for me to say that?
That's always talking about that 2-seater.
Listen, guys, listen. I want y'all to listen. If the woman do you dirty, you got a couple choices. You could beat her up, which we're not doing. I'm not advocating that. No beating them up. You can yell at them. Can't win that battle. Their voices is higher. Or you can get better.
Yeah.
And when you get better, you will attract better.
Yes.
And when you attract better, it just so happens you just happen to be driving down Whaley Avenue on a June afternoon, 75 degrees, in a 2-seater with a 25-year-old. That 25-year-old hurt him too. Oh, it hurts. And again, that is our war cry to ourselves, guys. That's what we work towards. Most of you guys won't even be thinking about that by the time it's over. But that's the thing that got to get you up off the couch. That's the thing that's got to get you into the gym. That's the thing that's got to get you through these modules. That, listen, I got something to look forward to. I am gonna be that guy. I'm gonna be in the best shape of my life. When we go to the family cookers, I go pick up my son. She's gonna be like, your arms out, you know what I'm saying, hair clean, everything fresh, beard. And she's like,
where was that guy?
Yeah, where's that guy?
When I was married, so.
And now you got the choice. The choice to give it a time of the day, or a choice to give it to somebody else.
Right. That's the truth.
And that's the benefit of dealing with me in this class. We're gonna make, that is my guarantee. That's what I want for you. Because that's the ultimate revenge. Success.
Yes.
People, the ultimate success is you succeeding in an endeavor outside of them. That's the key. I remember my personal life, I'm in business and some guys did some weird stuff. Hostile takeover type stuff. And one of my partners said, you're not gonna do nothing? What, if I was you, I would do this. I'm like, I ain't even worried about it. You know what I did? I took my talents and my skills and I put it in a whole other industry and succeeded in that. You thought you put me down. You thought I was like I didn't need you or this industry. I could do plenty of things.
Mm-hmm.
And that's ultimate success because it doesn't depend on the person or the situation. It all depends on me.
Right.
That's where I want to get you at, guys.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to succeed because of you, not because of the situation.
Mm-hmm.
You're the success. You become successful.
Mm-hmm.
You become the business, not a businessman.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That's the goal right there.
Yeah.
And it requires a certain kind of guy. It requires a certain type of discipline. It requires a certain type of understanding.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I want to get you guys. That's where we're going. Okay. That's what it's all about. That's the fun part. Like, I love it. Can't you see my passion in this? Because I've seen it happen, and I've gone through the ranks myself. I've brought people through the ranks. I've dealt with people that have been divorced, separated. I've dealt with young men that never wanted to have to go through that.
Mm-hmm.
And I've counseled guys on that. So, and then the end result, we do a branding thing. You know, like one of my clients, we're at that point now where we're about to go to the tailor, buy some suits, get some freshly cut suits,
mm-hmm.
tailored up, custom.
Yeah.
Then we gotta go to the cigar bar, take some pictures.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Just chill and start a whole new thing,
mm-hmm.
a new image.
Yeah.
He has to see himself as a different person now.
Yeah.
He's been through the pain. He's been through the heart rate. He lost 40 pounds. His arms is showing now. He's like, yo, people saying I look good. Hey, that's what happens when you work out. That's what happens. Like, yo, I'm not feel kind of, you know, like this is what he's saying to me. The last time I seen him, he was just like, yo, you know, people starting to say, I'm like, yeah, that's what happens. And you're the last one to see it.
Yeah. But
people notice it. People in the gym start to say hi to him. People that never talk to him. People like, yo, what's up, bro? He's like, yo, that guy, this is where he's like, yo, that guy never said anything to me. He said something to me. He said it like 4 or 5 times. I knew it meant something to him. Like, yeah, I heard you the first time you said it. But that's a good thing because now his confidence is coming out now. Mm-hmm. He's starting to look better. People starting to look at him differently. Mm-hmm. You know, they see he's in it for the long haul. Mm-hmm. He's totally committed. And he's getting the results and he's happy. I remember the first time he came to the gym, I met him. And every time I asked him, how you doing? I'm doing all right. How you doing? Oh man, it's rough. When I asked him one time, I said, how you doing? He looked at me, he was like, I'm all right, I'm good. I'm like, that's it right there. We're getting there. Mm-hmm. You know, and from there we go to the next step. You know, the next, you know, you start seeing the results. You start seeing the veins in his arms and he's wearing those sleeves to the gym. Like, what's this all about? You know what I'm saying? But the confidence is coming. Now the women starting to say hi to him and, you know, things are happening for him. Mm-hmm. But it all had to start with him coming to the realization that your situation is your situation. Mm-hmm. Let's not try to run from it. Let's not try to escape it. Let's completely dissolve ourselves in it. Let's not fight it. If we're falling, let's not try to break our fall. Let's just let it happen. Mm-hmm. And once we land, let's figure out where we at now. Now we can build from here. Yeah. But if you're constantly trying to stop the fall, you take it forever to fall. Right, exactly. And a lot of times people hurt themselves when they fall and they try to break their fall and they fall awkward. Yes. So the best thing to do is just let it happen. Right. It's happening already. Yes. You can't stop it. You can't change her mind. You don't want to try to change her mind. Because if you did convince her to come back in the state that you're in right now, it's only a matter of time before she goes back or you make it even worse. You won't ever have a shot. She tried it twice. Oh, wow, yes. I knew it was this in the first one, but somehow or another you talked me into coming back, and it's the same thing. So you don't want to try to get her back if you're in the same state. Right, yes. Definitely. And once you change your state, you might not want her back. That's where you want to be. Right. You want to be in that position. Yeah. That I feel so good now that whether I can take it or leave it. Right. My life doesn't depend on whether I get her back or not. Mm-hmm. And I'm not necessarily chasing nobody else. Mm-hmm. I'm good with me. I'm happy with me. Mm-hmm. That's where you want to be. Right. And that's when I start seeing clients get to that point. It's a beautiful thing. Mm-hmm. It's a beautiful thing to know that you made a difference. You know, talking people off the ledge. Mm-hmm. You know, having people call you, say, yo, man, I just almost didn't make it, man. I felt like, and they're telling you that they were going to commit suicide. And then being able to talk them off the ledge, to bring reason to and understanding to the emotions that they were feeling. Mm-hmm. That's the part. That's the ministry for me. Mm-hmm. That's what it really is for me. It's really ministry. Yeah. And it comes from my foundation of being in the ministry.
Yeah.
To find out what the real core issues are, and let's speak to those things.
Right.
It's not the fact that he's an alcoholic, it's what is causing him to be the alcoholic.
Right.
Let's find out that reason. Let's fix that.
Yeah.
And if she left you for a reason. And it's not to blame you and say you're not this, you're not that, but there's things that you could have been better at. There's things that you could have understood. There's things about yourself that you could have understood and understood how it affected the people around you.
Mm-hmm.
Again, we in the gym. We're lifting weights. I'm seeing you cry and moan. Oh. If you're doing it here, you did it in front of your kids at some point.
Mm-hmm.
That same reaction, you did it in front of your wife.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think she's thinking when you're doing something like that?
Yeah.
I'm telling you to list something, you're like, making all these weird noises. And I'm like, yo, I'm embarrassed. I'm looking around like, yo, he's not with me. But if you're doing it now, you've done it.
Yeah.
In front of your wife, in front of your kids. These are the things that they lose confidence and faith in you with.
Mm-hmm.
And all I'm doing is getting those things out through the fire.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, it sounds exciting. It sounds like it's needed. It sounds like men would certainly, especially in this position, benefit from it 100%. And it just sounds like, I'm a girl, so to me, it sounds like, oh, okay, well, yeah, because I would want to get back with a guy that did that, or I would want to be with a guy that did that.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, and I can't speak to what men go through or what men feel or what's happening inside of them when that's happening. But as a woman, we can tell when it's not happening.
Mm-hmm. When
that's that feeling, that lack of confidence, that self-esteem, we can feel when it's not there. Mm-hmm. We can feel when you have a defeatist attitude. We can feel failure.
Yeah.
And we can also feel confidence and esteem and empowerment. So as a woman, that is super attractive because it's an aura thing. It's not nothing that can be really said or done. Mm-hmm. It's just a vibe that comes off of certain guys that have that. And when that vibe comes off of them, it's magnetic to you. Like, oh, what's going on over there? Yeah. What's he
Women
doing?
Are attracted to men's confidence.
Yes.
That's why it's the foundation of everything that we do, our confidence. As soon as we lose our confidence, everything else goes. But what is that, as you were talking, I thought about, because your audience is a lot different than my audience and what I talk about, especially this particular situation is, but what I will say is this right here. If you have people that are hearing this on your platform and they're maybe contemplating leaving their husband, maybe you should probably reach out to Tanisha via Tanisha and put him in a situation where he could learn these things now. Yeah,
right. Where you get totally out with him.
Because if what you're saying is the majority of what women feel, I would want to be with a guy like that. Yeah. Women, okay, so if there's a woman out here listening to me, and you're going through the stages of this guy it's not gonna work. If you're going through that stage, ask yourself, a guy that learns these things and has this confidence and this type of aura, would you be attracted to that guy? Mm-hmm. If your guy turned to the guy that I'm describing, right, would you be happy with that? Mm-hmm. If that is the case, then hit me up. Yeah. Have him come our way. We'll go through the whole thing. We'll build him up. We'll show him exactly what that takes. Right. Iron sharpens iron. There's no other person that can do it other than another man. Right. That's so true. But again, for the women too, is, we don't, that's why we talk about how much our emotions are fleeting and we're not happy and we want to leave, because that span of unhappiness in the relationship has happened for a certain period of time. A period of time where you feel like there's no resolve. Yeah. This is about to be what it is. No, thank you. Let me get out while I still am cute. Because that's all we got at this point. So let me get out while I'm still cute and I got a little bit of a shot. But what women don't realize is that it is not the feeling, it's not the feeling of happiness, it's the energy of happiness.
and it's the energy of what's happening within the household and within the guy. So we don't necessarily notice that we think we want another man. We just want another version of the man that we have.
That's a good point.
So we always are thinking that another male or masculine type energy is what's going to fix the situation for us. And it's not. 9 times out of 10, I usually tell the women that you just don't want this version of him. But if he showed up as another version, you'd be okay with that. Because the fact of the matter is our love and our attraction was for this guy. That's why we decided to marry this guy. It's only if this guy let you down enough times that you feel like you don't want this guy. But if this guy becomes this guy, we'll be less apt to want to just walk away from it. Yeah. Especially once we've invested too much into it. So much into it. Children, time, like you said, in-laws, mutual friends. It's too much to dissipate it if he's willing to work on whatever those things were.
And that goes back to the original conversation. Most guys are not willing to do it. Most guys will hear this and be like, he don't know what he's talking about.
Yes.
Most guys are like, I'm not learning enough from him. I don't like the way his hair is. I don't like his shoes.
Right.
Just anything weird.
Yeah.
He don't know. What do he know? Who's this guy?
Right. Right.
Maybe want to Google me. I don't know. Check my resume.
I don't know.
You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, doesn't matter who is saying it. Is it true? Is it facts? Does it work? That's the key. That's what it really boils down to. And I can show track record, testimony that it works. Been doing this for a long time. It just so happens I'm actually sharing it, putting it into a package.
Right.
You know, I've helped many couples, many men get back to base. Many men get over break separations and breakups. I have another guy that was in law school. Girlfriend had the proposal, everything set up, ready to go. All he was going to do is pass the bar. He's going to propose to her. Everything beautiful. She broke up with him the week he was supposed to take his bar. He's done. How does this man figure this out? You know who he called? Me. Called me. I was the only guy that he knew that can help him get through that and pass the bar.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And if you ask him, and I'm sure he'll tell the truth, who are the 2 or 3 people that's most responsible for you being a lawyer? He'll say his mother, his father, and he'll say me. Somewhere in the top 3, I'm sure. Because that was at the most pivotal point in his career. Went through law school, ready to go. She breaks up with him literally the same week he's supposed to take the bar. And I had to walk him through that whole process mindset-wise and get him back to base so he can focus.
That was ruthless.
Oh, yeah, it's a dirty game out here.
Yeah, savages.
Yeah, savages.
That's
and she knew he was taking the bar. She was in law school too. So she knew how severe what she was doing was. That's the part. It wasn't like she was just a regular chick that don't know he's in school. He's just in school. No, she was a lawyer too. She was in law school too.
Oh, she could have waited on that. She did wrong. She's done wrong. What's the dirty game?
Yeah, she broke him down. That was nasty. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that was nasty work.
Yeah, it's nasty work. But shout out to Gage. You know what I'm saying? But again, I've been doing this was years ago. How long ago this was? It was 10, 15 years ago. You know what I'm saying? But I've been working with guys since.
Yeah.
You know, just showing them different perspectives, how to handle those text messages you get. What do I say to this? Oh, this way, you gotta say this. Because it's a bigger picture to what you're trying to accomplish. And what you're not trying to do is give away leverage. You're not trying to give away posture. You're not trying to succumb to what she wants in the way that she wants it. I tell guys all the time, if a woman tells you what to do, don't listen. But if what she tells you changes your perspective, do what she says based on the perception that you have now versus then. I'll make it simple. If a woman tells you what to do, don't do it. But if she says something to you and that what she says changes your perspective or your outlook on the situation, make a different decision based on the perception, not based on her telling you. That's important. I remember Rev said he driving down the street. His wife's like, go that way. He's like, and he goes the other way just because he cannot go that way because she said go that way. Now he might be going 5-6 minutes out of the way, but I can't do that. And I was like, he's like, nah, Doc, just can't do it. Just can't do it. You can't, because if that's the case, that means that you're not confident in your decision making. And if you're not confident in your decision making, how can she be confident in your decision making? The fact that she might be saying it, innocently. Hey, go this way. Oh, well, you should do this. I should do that. Okay, I'm just going to do that. It's different. I'm just going to do it because she said it. Meaning that you didn't have no firm enough ground to stand on what you was going to do before she said that. You didn't have no fight, no pushback, no bite. Okay.
Right.
Versus, what do you mean? No, I mean, sister. Oh, okay. Oh, all right. Well, that makes sense. You know what? I am going to do that.
Yeah.
Because my perspective changed.
Yeah.
It's a difference. So, as simple or complex as that example may seem, it's very complex in the actual moment. Because it's about figuring out what move to make. Because if you do, the outcome is the same. You did it. But the process of how you did it will affect how she views the situation. And how she views the situation, it will determine how she continues to deal with you. If every time she tells you to do something, you do it, then that's going to be that one time when she is in that manipulative state. And she's going to expect you to do it. And if you're used to doing it, you're going to do it. Because if you do it and it don't work, you can't blame her. Well, you told me, that doesn't sound right. So you have to make the decision to do it because you're going to be the one responsible for the outcome, guys. That's why you make the decision on your own without her telling you what to do, unless she offers up a perspective that you didn't see. And after you evaluate that perspective, you say, you know what? That was smart, baby girl. That was smart, wifey. That makes sense. Yes, we got to do it this way. Total big difference. It's a difference in posture. It's a difference in respect. If you do it that way, she'll respect you even more because it shows that you have growth. That, hey, look, he really took the time to process this information before he made the move. And not only that, my information is vital to him. It's a win-win for everybody. Versus just doing it because she told you to do it.
Well, yeah.
I can just make him do anything. That's a temporary win for her.
Well, yeah.
That eventually will be long-term pain. Because all you're doing is you're training him to not resist. And now he's just, okay. And then now he's not going to want to take responsibilities for the outcome because he knows it's not really him.
Right.
It's going to be harder for him to take responsibility when it goes wrong because he knows he's not the one making the decision.
Right.
And now you're mad he's not taking responsibility. It's a trickle-down effect.
Absolutely.
So it's a lot.
Well, like I said, I think it's good. And I'm actually kind of excited for guys that would take it. I'm excited about the fact that something like this is out. I'm excited about a guy that could be going through this situation that it could actually possibly help. And a woman that might have a husband that she feels a certain way about that it can help him too. I think it's going to be good for a lot of people overall. So are we going to come back when it's launching?
Yeah, more likely. It's going to be, we got to go big with it. It's going to be everywhere. You're going to see it. It's going to be everywhere. Like I said, I'm taking my time doing it right.
Yes.
So you may know I've been on Wall Street for the last 9 months. I learned a lot. I learned how to sell. I learned how to market. I learned how to do big things. I learned how to hire people to sell big sales forces. And I taught sales forces. So I'm going to put all my knowledge, all my resources and my connections into this one thing. This is my project right here.
Definitely. Well, so glad we were able to talk about it. He was able to get it out.
Yeah, this is good to get it out because it's been percolating on the inside. I talked to a couple people here, talked to a few people here, a few people there, but never really got out what this whole thing is about and what it's really for.
Yeah.
No one's gonna sit here for an hour and a half, however long you listen to me ramble about something that I didn't create yet.
Right.
And no one's gonna sit there and listen to it unless they're actually being affected by it. So,
right.
So I definitely wanted to just kind of get the project out, to let people know that it's coming. Because
Yeah.
I know people are saying, hey, I see what you're doing on social media, it's a lot. You know, I like what you're saying. Oh yeah, keep doing what you're doing. And there has to be an end result, has to be a goal to it. So all I'm doing right now is putting out a lot of stuff that I did in the past about relationships, about mentality, about finances. Those are the three main things. I should probably do more things about health and wellness because that's another pillar. But for the most part, I'm putting this stuff out so when people look at my body of work, they'll say, "Oh, he's been doing this. Yeah. This is what he does."
For sure.
So
definitely, absolutely. Well, we thank you as always, and look out for it because it'll be out soon once it's all complete, and all the marketing will be behind it, so you guys will see it. We probably won't have to come back here, you know, but I'm always able to get the exclusives, so you know, we're definitely gonna come back here. So. Listen, ladies, if it is something, once I post this in my Divine Feminine group, if this is something that you think that you would want your husband to take part in, or become a part of the brotherhood, so to speak, of just becoming a better version of himself, then definitely reach out to me and I will get the information to him. All right? So thank you all. Thanks so much for watching, and we will see you next time. Bye. Oh, Lord. Oh, I thought it was a